This is Kenya News Update today. What if I told you that in 2025, a single generation didn't just protest, they toppled entire governments? From the streets of Nairobi to the mountains of Nepal, Gen Z activists armed with nothing but smartphones and collective rage brought down corrupt regimes. But here's the twist. This wasn't just about politics. This was a global scream for a future that's being stolen. Coming up, you'll meet the young people who risked everything and discover why their fight is just beginning. Meet Burton Bandiangu, a 25-year-old student in Togo. On June 6, 2025, his life changed forever. That's the day he joined thousands of young people flooding the streets of Lomé, demanding an end to 58 years of rule by the same family. They were protesting the arrest of a rapper who dared to sing about corruption. Burton was among dozens arrested. He was tortured. But here's what nobody's talking about. He went back out. The fear was gone, replaced by a fury that's spreading across continents. And then something shocking happened. In Kenya, a similar fire was reigniting. Hanifa Adan Safia, 29, was on the front lines in 2024 during the massive tax protests. She was arrested. But in June 2025, young Kenyans poured into the streets again. The trigger? The death in custody of a blogger who wrote about social injustice. Thousands marched in downtown Nairobi on June 25th, marking the anniversary of the storming of Parliament. But here's the part that will blow your mind. This energy wasn't contained. It became a virus of hope. In Nepal, 25-year-old political consultant Pradip Jayawali watched as his government banned social media apps to silence criticism. So he and a generation took to the streets. Their anger was laser-focused: corruption, nepotism, and the luxurious lives of political elites while everyone else struggled. By September, their protests achieved the impossible. The government fell. The following month, history repeated itself 2,500 miles away. In Madagascar, transparency campaigner Shelley Andriamahaja, 26, helped fuel protests against elite corruption. The result? Another government unseated. Two regimes toppled in 2 months by kids who weren't even born when some of these leaders first took power. But the story doesn't end there. In October, protests erupted in Agadir, Morocco. Artist Imad Zoukani, 28, joined after several pregnant women died during C-sections at the same hospital in a matter of weeks. The anger exploded. It spread to Marrakesh within days. Young people were furious at crumbling hospitals and sky-high unemployment, while the government spent millions to host football tournaments. Here's the seismic shift. This isn't a coincidence. It's a blueprint. Many call 2024's revolution in Bangladesh, which unseated authoritarian leader Sheikh Hasina, the spark. It inspired a generation across Asia and Africa to believe change was possible. From Sri Lanka to Timor-Leste, the common factor was Gen Z, their labeled generation anxiety, born into climate chaos and connected by social media. But in the global south, that anxiety transformed into action. Their protests are rooted in a fundamental fear that there is no future unless they fight for it right now. Some call it a revolution, others call it desperation. But here's the controversial truth they all share. They're willing to face down heavily armed police and the threat of torture because the alternative, a life of corruption and stolen opportunities, is worse. So, do you think this is the beginning of a new global political era or a fleeting moment of anger? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more on the stories shaping our world.